Zach Van Sliders. This is Old Man Gaming's horrible review of the Realm Royale beta on Xbox. Now, first disclaimer, this is a review of a beta, so the product can change before its actual launch. And it's also a review of just the Xbox experience for this game. Disclaimer number 2 is I am a house dad. I do not do this professionally, therefore you may hear my child, my phone go off, or my dog in the background. I'm not going to go back and edit it because I don't get paid for this. And then final disclaimer, this is not a super in-depth review. I do not believe in giving overall scores for my reviews because gaming is the most subjective form of art, in my opinion. So you'll just get pros and cons, and this is more of a every man's look at the game and whether you should play it. Okay, starting with the general overview of the game, it is a battle royale shooter game, played from the third person. Basically what you do, much like any other battle royale, is it's 80 to 100 players. They get put on a ship, they get airdropped onto an island, and then the zone decreases in size, pushing them together as they eliminate each other to be the top one person or the top team, and then rinse, repeat. What's a little bit different about this game is it's a hero shooter, and I actually believe it's the first hero battle royale, even though Apex likes to make that claim. While Apex does it a little bit more towards the Overwatch side of things, you do play one of 4 classes: a hunter, an assassin, a warrior, and a mage. Now, as you play these classes and as you do better in the games, you will actually get experience through the classes, which allow you to unlock passive equipment choices and abilities that you will assign to your loadout between matches to help refine your playstyle. And in a sea of ever-increasing battle royale games, this is what makes this game the most unique. This and its sword and sorcery aesthetic, even though most of the weapons you use are guns. So let's get into the pros, since there's not much else to say about the overview. The first pro that I like to think about this game, and I have played most of the battle royales, at least a little bit, and what I love is the chest system. Instead of just dropping random pieces of equipment that if you pick it up nobody else can get it, they put random chests all over the map. And these chests, you can open it, another player can open it, and whoever opens it gets a random drop of items and equipment. This random drop can either be equipped, or you can actually break them down for what the game calls shards, which allows you to forge weapons, abilities, and runes to help your character, to help you get into your playstyle faster. And this is really forging is a crux of this game too. It's really what you're going for. You're going to get kills, which also get you shards, and shard as much stuff to get to the forge to mine the things, not mine, but build the things that you need for your playstyle to face the end game of the battle royale. And this is one of the most interesting and unique ways to present a battle royale, in my opinion. I mean, it does have its downsides as well, but one of the greatest things about it, unlike PUBG, which is a game about predominantly survival, this game is really about getting your build, your exact style, as well as you can before the end. And that's a really interesting prospect. For me, a player who in PUBG likes to hide at the corner of the map, only get what he needs, only loot when he needs to, not worry about kills, but just try to get to the end, that's a little bit more difficult in this game. You really need to get at least 1 or 2 kills in order to do your forging, in order to prepare yourself for those final eliminations, because the other guy is doing the same thing, and if you show up at the end with just some common weaponry, he's going to destroy you. And that is a very interesting piece to this game, and in my opinion, probably the most interesting part of the dynamic of this game. Hi-Rez has also put a lot of stuff in this game. I mean a lot, a ridiculous amount for a battle royale. Not only do you have a ton of guns, but each gun has a rarity level as well. It goes from common to legendary, and each one changes its own damage, fire rates, and other and possible elemental attacks to it. Then you also have the abilities. You have armor potions as well as health potions, which are predominantly your healing and armor. And unlike your other Battle Royale games, these things are almost instant to give you health and armor back. Then you even have more. You even have ruins after that. So there's a lot going on in this game. And while we'll also talk about that in the cons section, it is nice to have a very unique and in-depth kind of interesting feel to the Battle Royale. There's a lot of ways you can play the game, and I like that. Whereas I don't feel like there's a lot of ways you can play PUBG, and I haven't played Fortnite lately, but when I played Fortnite before, there was only a few strategies. Now, before we get into the lengthy cons, I do want to say that I've had a lot of fun with this game, and I do enjoy it, and when I decide to go to Battle Royale, I do keep coming back to it despite its flaws, and I think that there's something to be said about that, too. And of course, it's free. You can just download and play it. They work on a battle pass sort of scenario, so you never have to spend any money while playing it. This brings us to the cons, and unfortunately, there are a lot of them. I gotta start right off the back by the fact that Hi-Rez Studios has this kind of crazy mentality with this game. First of all, they're incredibly overreactive to social media and whatnot. They will nerf something to the point where it is useless. Then the community will immediately complain about it, and instead of trying to balance it, they just make it so good that nobody can touch it. And this just continues in a cycle over and over again. They had one ability called the Ice Block, the Ice Shield, the Ice Shield, where it was useless. Everybody complained that it was useless. So then they made it one of the best abilities in the game, at which point now, from what I understand, they're nerfing it again. That's a problem. It's a real problem. And that's not just evident in the social media reaction, but in the baseline of everything. There are abilities and weapons that are just completely useless, don't even need to be in the game. And while I understand that you need to have some weapons that are more useless than others, I feel like everything should have some sort of place, whereas this game does not subscribe to that. I mean, we're not even just talking about common weaponry, we're talking about the special weaponry that some people pick up. Some of the levels of them at higher are worse than the lower levels. It's kind of a crazy meta they have going on here. And again, every time somebody asks them to fix it, they don't fix it. They just way overshoot their mark in the direction that they're going. And this has happened repeatedly over and over again. The same thing is true for the abilities. I would be remiss if I do not mention there is a class ability, not even a normal ability, a class ability for the hunter called dodge roll that is absolutely and totally useless. No one can convince me otherwise. It's a dodge roll with no frames of invulnerability. So literally, they can shoot you just normal while you're rolling. You don't roll that far. It doesn't really change your position that much. It is literally like an emote with a cooldown. While on the other side, you have the flare that can make anybody in any range visible who's invisible, and you can see them through walls, which that's crazy. Why is that so big? While I love the idea of having all these abilities in the game and really being able to refine your playstyle, it's so hard to play anything but 3 or 4 of the abilities that kind of defeats the purpose of having such a wide array of abilities. The other thing is, too, there are certain abilities that just totally blow strategies out of the water, and all you have to do is have them at a common form, and that guy's not winning. I often played an assassin who ran both smokescreen and hidden, which are 2 invisibility powers. If somebody has 1 flare or a sensor drone, I am not going to be helpful to a team, and in solos, I'm going to get killed. And that's a little irritating. My other big problem with this, and again, this is kind of changing. The last update seemed to fix it a little bit. Playing this game on the Xbox servers is a completely different meta than playing it with the PC servers and crossplay enabled. And that's insane. The fact that you log this game up and it immediately puts you into crossplay is also crazy to me. I mean, this isn't a PvE game, and the differences between somebody playing a PC version of a shooter and console version of a shooter are very different. Everybody knows that. I think the reason for this is the people who are building this game are very PC centered, and they tend to forget about the Xbox people. They tend to not care about our servers as much. They tend to not worry about us as much. I feel like we're just lumped in with the PC people, like, oh, we'll just let the Xbox guys play. You know, that's a little irritating. And now I want to speak a little bit on the rune system, and I don't know if this is going to be a popular notion, but I think it shouldn't even be in the game. It's extra. It really serves no purpose other than to break characters. I'm in a Discord with this game, and I overhear a lot of conversations about the metas of this game and how the people play the game, what works, what doesn't. And every time somebody is saying a power is broken or a weapon is broken, it's usually in conjunction with one of these runes. Now, just because you probably don't know, a rune is not an ability, not a weapon. There's these things that you can collect or forge. Whenever you forge them, they're random, though. You can't even get an ability to make them not random. And they just give you a power, period. And these powers range from, like the other ones, completely stupid and ridiculous, to the greatest thing in the world, and if you have it, it's a win button. There shouldn't even be runes. You have enough dynamic play with the abilities, with the movement abilities, with the weaponry. You don't need these extra little things that just literally break people's experiences with the game. And again, half of them are completely useless. They're wastes of times. You have one rune that literally makes your death mode a little bit faster, which is completely useless, or your horse, which replaces sprinting in other games, slightly faster. Then you have another rune which just gives you all the armor that you need as long as you're not getting shot. That's crazy. And that's a problem with the game. I think the rune system should be gone. It shouldn't even be in the game. It's not needed, and all it does is serve to break other people's abilities. Because a lot of the runes just give additional cooldown to the, like, speeds up the cooldown of the abilities. And that's really what breaks them. That's what makes them, like, well, if I have this one ability with the 5-second ability rune, then I'm going to win. Moving on, I'm sorry I'm going a little bit long, but there's a lot to unpack with this game, and I have played it quite a bit, which is different from the other reviews that I've done so far. I want to talk about the community, and this is not just the community of Realm Royale, but the community of all versus games at whole. Guys, you need to stop hating on each other. You need to stop trash talking. You need to stop being toxic. I mean, this is coming from a guy who's played For Honor a lot. I've played plenty of Battle Royales. This is one of them. The one thing that the PvE games that are always online will always have over you guys is people want to play them because people feel like people want them to play them. When you play these Battle Royales and you have people yelling at you to get out of here because you're trash, well, then they go away and you don't have people to play with. Realm Royale suffers from low player count. I mean, it's not the worst game ever. It's not Darwin Project, but at the same time, it's in danger of not having enough players to warrant it being around. With that said, you have to come in with friendly advice. You have to be, you have to say, good game, you would have beat me if you did this, not, you're trash, you should never play this, you should stay away from me, stuff like that. I've seen too many people roll their eyes at me for asking a stupid question in a chat. I've seen too many people say that my ideas are stupid, and I'm not going to say that Realm Royale's community is the worst. It's not. But the PC side of it is way better than the Xbox side, and we're trying to get them to show the Xbox side more love with a bunch of people who are being very mean about stuff. Like, we're acting like petulant children who don't deserve things. And if we do that, we're not going to get stuff. It's that simple. So we have to try and be more constructive, be more helpful, and be more positive. It's a versus game. Yes, we all want to have fun. We all want to win. But there's no reason to make other people feel less than, because when you do, you lose players to play against. And when you have no one to play against, this game doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so this one's gone a little bit long, and I apologize to anyone who's stuck through it so far, because, hey, this is a terrible review. These are all bad, and I don't know why anybody's watching them. But I do want to say I really do enjoy this game. I do enjoy playing it. The cons were a little bit heavy on the pro side, which is different from the reviews that I've done so far. But at the same time, this is a beta. It is going to get better, hopefully, and hopefully all the things that I've said will come to fruition. I mean, I don't think the ruins are going to go away, but maybe Hi-Rez can balance it. And Hi-Rez, if by some chance you decide to watch this, please, please, please balance stuff. Stop overreacting to everything you see on Reddit, okay? But thank you everybody for watching, and I'm sorry this sucked, as usual. I'm sorry it went too long, as usual, but I have warned you multiple times that these are not going to be good. So, alright, until next time. Just want to give one final quick call out as a post signature to this video to my friend on Xbox, Knights645. He is a competitive Xbox player for Realm, who is incredibly helpful, helped me make this video that you're seeing before you by killing me most of the time. But I just want to say he's doing a lot for actually promoting the Xbox side of things.